Welcome to day 2 of the 2026 Canadian Ultimate Championships, the Masters Edition, coming at you from beautiful Brampton, Ontario. We have Dial Up in white, going right to left on your screen against Rewind in dark. Rewind just getting a block there with Robbie Moore. Theo Wan here with Nate Crane bringing you the action. Before we continue, we'd like to acknowledge that the city of Brampton is located on the traditional territories of the Mississaugas of the Credit, Haudenosaunee, and Wendat Nations. We thank you for tuning in. This is a power pool matchup to get into quarterfinals. And Nate, this is going to be an exciting one. Both teams bring energy from the start.
I mean, absolutely. Tons to play for here. As you mentioned, booking a ticket into the quarterfinals with a win. And here early, both teams trading some miscues on offense.
And this is an offensive point for Rewind, the team in dark from Vancouver, British Columbia. See how they rebound after that first turnover. Jojo Elias now with the disc. A key cog for this O-line, and that throw not brought in by Ken Sue. So a short field turnover.
Tight there on the reset cut there on the flick side. It's tough to get floaty, and so it's coming in hot for the receiver and just not able to handle it.
And Nye throwing this one out, and it's swatted away for emphasis by Robbie Moore.
No nonsense defense there, Theo.
He might be a volleyball player, I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Obviously, as you can see, one of the taller players on the field amongst both sides. We do have a stoppage in play. Looks like it was on the disc. Observer is going to go see what's going on here.
Some discussion between Sue, Nye, and observer Sandra Hansen and Justin Lee, Team Orange. We, of course, thank all the observers at the complex for keeping things moving. Their job is, if you're just never watched Ultimate before, Nate, their job is not to be refs, right? They're just trying to move things along.
No, they're basically generals, behind the play, and you can see them crowd around the discussion that the players are still leading, and they can advise on rules. If the players do want to go to a final ruling, the observers can make a call, but that is up to the players themselves.
They do make a couple active calls, however, and that's going to be in-outs and offsides.
That's right. So the important ones in the end zone, also up the sidelines, they will make those active calls.
Ryan mentioned they like to move it up the field with that quicker disc movement. Less of a long ball team, but that's another short field turnover. Wallace Jang now working with Emily Chian. Jang, unmarked still. Lots of options. And he's going to celebrate before the goal's even caught. It's going to be a break for Dial Up.
And 3 defenders at the front of the stack going to the break side, following one player. It left 2 players wide open, and it's an easy score after a few turnovers either way.
Perhaps some confusion, Nate, on the defense because, like you said, there was no one marking certain players, and Chian going to get credited with the goal here. A break for Dial. That's how you want to start because for them, they're coming off a win 14-9 over King Bear, a team that Rewind beat on Universe yesterday, and they had less time to get to the field. Rewind's been here for a while.
Yeah, the hard cap was about 15 minutes before this game started, so they were walking over. They only had 10, 12 minutes to prep, and then once you talk to the observers, everything like that, there's not a ton of time. Obviously, your legs are warm, but you don't get a little bit of an extra breather that maybe you would like to.
And which team do you think that favors? Where one team has the longer rest, because Rewind, unfortunately for them, if you're a fan of them, they were not close in their matchup with Dinner at 4, losing 15-3. So they had a lot of time to think, throw, get ready, whereas Dial Up had to rush in.
I think it depends on your team's mentality. Obviously, losing a tough game like that, how do you sit in that for a longer period of time going into this next game that you have to win if you want to get to the knockout stage in the quarterfinals? So really, it can be team to team. Personally, I like to get right into it the next game. So I'd rather be on the Dial-Up side personally, but we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, obviously, Dial-Up scores that first point, gets that break, so good early start for them.
Yeah, it's a different line out here for Rewind. Anna Joltahina getting rid of the disc, resetting it back to Jennifer Lee Cohen. And that's quick movement from Rewind. That's how you want to reset yourselves after giving up the break there. Riley McFadden throwing the assist.
And we were talking to coach of Rewind, Victor Tran, before the game, just talking about the offensive sets, the lines, things like that. And he said that there's a core group of O-line players that he'll continue to put on the field, and you'll see players like Joltahina there, who was on the field back-to-back points for that O-line score. So we'll see how that fares in the legs. Obviously, you go down a break early. You have to run some players back-to-back, but obviously it pays dividends for them tying this game back up at once.
They do have a decently large roster, and they are looking like they're playing a lot of players kind of not double shifting per se, but certainly playing a player like Scott Craig, Emily Hawkins, and Jojo Elias as well back on the field after playing that first point. So certainly they know the implications of this game. You mentioned knockout stage. We're fresh off the World Cup. That's a soccer term. We love it out here. We're out here on the pitch in beautiful Brampton, Ontario. What more could you ask for?
Absolutely. And the weather, honestly, is perfect. You might be having trouble telling from the broadcast of what the wind is like. It's very, very minimal. Not a lot of breeze here for these players. So throws.
Female player Called by the observer Sandra Hansen, one of the veteran observers on this observer roster.
Yeah, big fan of Sandra's. Whenever my games are observed by her, I have a lot of trust in her to lead the game.
Phil Chung, middle of the field, just past their brick mark. Chung with a couple of fakes, now needs 9 in the reset space. Craig, a lot of pressure there.
Great throw. Just a nice floaty throw. Let Nida run onto it.
Just Wu now over to Edith Chan. Now it's Wu once again.
Bit disorganized here in the vert stack. Not a ton of shape.
Nye ripping the backhand. It's Just Wu the target once more. And this time, that one's going to hit the turf. Good effort from Wu. But they're going to have to work the full 70 as rewind right now for another break opportunity.
Yeah, it felt like one where Nye could feel that there was a lack of structure there for him in close with inside cuts. And so really he just had, Wu caught that last goal downfield. So it was a nice throw, a little bit too far for the streaking Wu.
Craig. Surveying options here. Goes with the around. Finding Robbie Moore. Robbie Moore got the block earlier. Big long cutter for them. There's going to be a halt in the action here. And I think Nye called a pick that did not actually take place, so he's waving it off saying, my bad. So play will continue off of the stoppage here, off the tap of the disc.
Yeah, he's pretty far away from Craig here downfield, so assuming that's why he called off the pick. But he's got a lot of ground to catch up here, but it will be a reset throw anyway, so no danger.
Jen Chin looking for the aforementioned Craig. Craig has a female matching player, and now we'll find Hawkins. A few yards away, about 10 yards away from Moore. Resets it to Craig. To Chin. And some miscommunication.
Yeah,
I
great.
think Moo thought it was someone else that was going to catch it.
Great swing play there from Rewind, just working it sideline to sideline, but no end product.
Nye is going into the deep space. This is actually going to be near midfield, and he'll catch it. A lot of players in the area, but he outsmarts them all. Chan, reset to Chung. Chung back at the midfield line here for the Toronto side. Goes a little lefty backhand, and Nye can't get there. Maybe we would have liked to see the backhand around instead.
Yeah, steady thrower typically, just a little bit too far there for Nye. Did get fingertips on it. Maybe Nye thinks he should have done better, but either way, going the other way.
Moore was looking for Chin. I like the look going deep there. But it's going to be 2 turnovers each. Elias, I think, telling the line to settle down a bit, saying, please.
Yeah, just saying lock in a little bit. I like this Craig-Nye matchup that we're seeing in front of the stack here. It's a good one. And we're seeing a timeout call. Just give both teams a breather.
Both teams going to take a breather. We're going to do the same here and be right back for more mixed division action here at the 2026 Canadian Ultimate Championships Masters. fresh off the timeout. Rewind from Vancouver, BC, taking on Dial Up from Toronto, Ontario. It's 4-2 right now in a game that is essentially for the quarterfinal round here in the mixed division at the 2026 CUC Masters. Theo Wan here with Nate Crane. A lot of action so far. Rewind, if you're just joining us, with 2 breaks. Dial Up with 1, and that's why we have the scoreline the way it is.
Yeah, Rewind starting on offense. First point of the game was a break. Tough throw here for Chung. It's going to get picked off.
And let's see how their D-line offense settles. Saw Elias telling everyone to just take a breath, even just now with her hand gestures. Inside throw to Craig. Craig looking to make sure there's no defender there. He's going to go across the field to Moore. And they're waiting for the celebration, but it is a good goal. Craig to Moore if you're keeping track at home.
And it was Chin with that D too, just in the right spot. Chung, high stall count. Not sure what the stall count was coming in after the timeout, but didn't have a lot of time to work with when that throw went up. And it was just sort of loopy towards the middle of the field. And so it was a turnover.
For this Rewind team, we've been told it's been a bit of a rebuilding year in terms of their female matching players. One of their top throwers last year, Christine Laxon, not on the squad, playing with Forever Young now. As there was a timeout called, gonna see which team it's going towards here as we get that sorted. No timeout called, as we've been told by observer Justin Lee, but as I was saying before, a bit of a building year for Rewind. But they're a team, they practice twice a week out here. They mean business, they got tryouts. You don't see that for all the Masters teams in this division.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some teams just pick up and go, right? And that's sort of the vibe with Dial Up out of Toronto is you know, we were talking to Captain Daniel Nye at the beginning, just before the beginning of the game, and he was saying, you know, this is maybe some of our last chances to play together as friends, as peers, so getting the team together, but you're right. I mean, Rewind, tryout system, 2 practices a week. Coach Tran said that some people are doing off-season training, plyometrics in the off-season. So, you know, this is a team that is well-oiled year-round, and we're seeing exactly why with the 5-2 lead.
Sue is out on the field for this Dial-Up team, but no more Craig, Hawkins, Elias, some of the players that we've seen kind of run that D-line right now. D-line cheers ringing down here. Can Dial Up match the energy is the question.
I mean, they're going to need to, right? Obviously, you want to start to chip into the lead before halftime. That's a big, big thing. You don't want to be going into halftime with a big deficit of, you know, 4 or 5 points. So an important point here.
Clark and Clack working against the zone. Clack with the ball now. He's going to slice and dice, looking for Donald Kwok, their leading scorer. Kwok being told to chill here, and he will hold on to the disc and find a safety valve in Clack. It's Clark now. They're venturing into person look, but Clark is still unmarked. This happened before with Jang, and that's how they threw their first score. That was a break. Clack's throw just a little too high.
It's great work from Clack. You know, he's the type of handler that wants to go every other in his own look. Again, it's a similar throw down the middle over the top that creates so much space. That's what we saw in the give and go. But just the final product, once again, just lacking just a little bit.
Working it so well up to that point. Reset to Sue. And then it's taken away by Kwok. Great block on the other side. And number 97, Donald Kwok, will get bookends. Clack with the assist.
I mean, that's a great tee from Kwok, if we're being honest. It's the trailing arm in that handler space. He's a taller player working up against the shorter, quicker, dartier player in Sue. So a lot to do there, and he gets the D.
That's how you get back in. They've answered a couple times now where they've bled some breaks and they're able to come back with their offense. They run more of a pod system, as we mentioned on the top. So kind of the equal playing time, everyone just getting touches involved. And we'll see if that strategy continues to prevail, especially if we go towards the end? Will they tighten up lines? We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like, the both teams, when you're talking about the way they roll lines, there's not a clear structure, like we said. Tran for Rewind says there's a few, set in stone offensive players and sort of cycles players in from there. So yeah, we'll definitely see again who has the hot hand and how teams choose to utilize those players.
Often what happens too is you have a power line in your mind, and then one player gets hot on some of the other lines, or one player gets cold.
And a horizontal set here.
Great grab from Phil Borinaga, excuse me. McFadden. Zoltohina. Now it's Kentz, Adrian Kentz. And that throw a little bit behind Kappa. I think Kappa saying it was my bad, but that throw a little difficult as well.
Yeah, just behind him towards his outside shoulder. And just too hot on that pass to the sideline, and it's a drop, so chance for Rewind there in the half of dial-up.
Morinaga. Little lefty backhand to Hawkins. Nifty throw. I love it. Hawkins around. Kentz keeps it going. Finds Jen Chin.
Yeah, Chin, I mean, really liking what I'm seeing from her, just in the right places at the right time. Is also getting some Ds as well, but that offense is so good. Baringa, that inside lefty to reset towards the middle for Hawkins. And then Hawkins over the top backhand, and an easy score there in the end for Chin.
Little Britney Spears playing in the background from our DJ Cat Fortan, and Rewind certainly hoping for one more time in terms of their breaks. They got 3 already. They're hoping for one more, at least before half.
Before half, 6-3 here, and we'll see. It's the previous line, it looks like, from dial-up with Clack and Craig. Clack and Clark, excuse me, in the backfield. This is a women matching point, so 4-3 ratio in favor of the WMPs, as we say. So it'll be a lady pull, and it's Elias on the other end for Rewind.
And since the kind of initial part, they have been subbing out Elias and Craig and some others, so I think they're trying to get everyone some burn here. But Zoltohina, I see on this defensive line, so maybe they are mixing in some of those O-line starters as well.
Yeah, crossing over a little bit. And I mean, this is a dangerous D-line for me, looking at it. Zoltohina, Chin, Craig, Elias. These are some fantastic players here, so a lot of work for dial-up.
And they're electing to go person here. Often we see Clack and Clark having to work against a zone. Clack's roll will be brought in by Zoltohina, and that's on the other team. Craig, cross field. Great effort from Chin trying to back up RA there.
And again, it's a great spot from Chin, just not able to haul it in, as the throw was not intended for her, but she tried to get there anyways.
Daryl Chen now finding Clark. Craig, good, safe, no bid. You often see sometimes a player gets blown up there. Clack out on the move. Throwing the saucy backhand. Curtis Clack, number 40, making plays.
And that's the touch he was looking for on the disc. We see a couple errant throws from him, one in the end zone at a previous point, and then one down the sideline this time around, but he gets it back. A little bit of redemption for him.
Finding Fan for the hold. (6-4), your scoreline here. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you drop a like and subscribe in the YouTube video here. We thank you for tuning in. We also want to thank our sponsors as well. Be Ultimate, Discraft, and Experience Brampton. Discover everything the city has to offer at experiencebrampton.ca, your one-stop online resource for the best in arts, culture, entertainment, dining, shopping, and local experiences. Make the most of your time. That's what we're doing in this vibrant and diverse city, and start planning your Brampton experience today. How many tournaments have you played in the city, Nate? Come on.
So
Or
many.
coach. You've been here a long time.
So many. I mean, it's been a lot, and the facility is, one of the best in this region, and in Ontario. So always happy to come back here on these beautiful fields, beautiful day, and big chance here. Dial Up would love a break right here. Love a break. Just cut into this lead, 6-5.
Zoltahina is out there for her third straight point for rewind. McFadden very poached underneath, giving a lot of size up is Nye in that matchup. Couple players miss it, but no harm, no foul because no one on the backside.
Yeah, just too high. Zoltahina tried to take a wide route back towards it, but not enough air underneath it. So here's the chance for Dial Up.
Jang had McFadden trying to make the bid there. He's going to go with the big flick huck. Looking for Farah Kerniawan. Kerniawan is there, and that is a Dial Up break.
And there is the energy you're hearing on the sideline and on the field for Dial Up. I mean, what a great throw there. Jang to the end zone. And Kerniawan, great run down there at the back of the end zone. And just like we said, important point for Dial Up to grab there, and they do.
Third assist already for number 91. So Wallace Jang making his presence felt right away. He's also on that Cat's Paw squad I mentioned earlier that's going to nationals. So congratulations to him and his team for qualifying. Mixed division is a gauntlet out here in Ontario. So to survive that, you got to be proud. They came through the bottom bracket actually, Nate. So they couldn't lose a game in that Sunday. And so they were able to make their way through.
I was watching that route closely at the senior regionals and seeing them sort of claw their way up, no pun intended, but claw their way up through.
You intended that. You intended
through the backdoor bracket. And I mean, big upset if we're being honest. Zen cracked nationals last year, and that was a big thing for them. And then Cat's Paw sort of pickup team out of nowhere comes in,
kind of like Dial Up, a group of friends,
steals that last spot, right? And deservedly so. They had a great tournament.
So noting no Clark on the field. Clark is the one who just pulled it. But they do have Donald Kwok who got the bookends earlier. Elias out here on this O point. Looks for Craig. Clark thought about the bid on RA. But RA was strong with it. Now Craig. Craig loading up the flick, goes inside, looking for Sue. Tough edge to try to make that grab.
It was just a little high, too. There was the edge on it, and then there was the height. So Sue just didn't have the reach to be able to haul that one in.
Clark bringing up this huck. It's going to have a bevy of players in the area. And it's Scott Craig making a play.
I mean, big D, because Kwok was there looming. Again, taller player in Kwok. Clark just seeing the height, opts to go downfield. But chance for rewind here now.
RA. Great mark from Clark taking away the around. And that leads to the block from Kwok. That's team defense.
Yeah, team defense. It's a great run through deep, but the handler defense was stellar there to force a downfield throw that was tight.
Andrea Chan now. Resets to Clark. Clark we know can shoot it. Gonna go with the around to Chung instead. That's Terrence Chung. There's two of them on this team. And a great effort from Chan, but it's gonna be out of bounds.
Yeah, tight there on the sideline. If you're new to watching Ultimate, if your foot is on the line, touching any part of the line, you are out of bounds. The line is out of bounds. So really tight throw there. This time it's just a throwaway. Trying to find Elias there was Sue. So back on O, go Dial Up.
Kwok is hovering in the deep space, and Clark will oblige with a flick huck that will float very high now. And Craig gets involved once again, giving up many inches over to Kwok, but he makes more defensive magic. Sue needs something, finds a reset in Craig. Sidelines being more active with their voices right now as Chin has the ball. Throws around to Sue. Sue a couple fakes. And we'll throw it right into the hands of Kwok.
Yeah, another D by Kwok, his second of the point.
You can see players getting a little bit tired. There's a lot of turnovers, the most we've seen so far in this game on 1 point alone.
Yeah, and again, this is, Dial-Up really wanting this back-to-back break here. And miscue from Chung. It looked like he got caught up between the throw and the holster, and it just slipped out of his hand.
Throwers know that feeling, right, Nate? You're kind of in between both.
Well, and your hands are sweaty, too, right? So it's even harder to hold onto the disc as we have the timeout. Again, long point, a lot of turnovers. So both teams want to catch a breather. Again, there's Elias. Just calm down, making that signal to her team.
She's going to take a breath with her squad. We're going to do the same and be right back. Vancouver Rewind calling the timeout. JoJo Elias with the disc. By my count, Nate, 4 turnovers apiece on what is a Rewind offensive point here.
Yeah, it's a long one. Legs start to get heavy. And your mental can be a little bit frantic in these moments, getting frustrated. Timeout will definitely favor both of these teams.
So a little up the line cut. And that's a prescribed play off the timeout, looking for more. Moore is ruled out of bounds, and he slams the disc in frustration.
Just fading out the sideline there, but again, it's a set play. Sue across the front, that slash really hard to defend with a quick cutter like him.
Around looking for Chan. Craig is barreling down. Believe Chan is going to call a foul. And Craig is going to not contest it. So Chan will keep the disc.
Yep. Good spirit there from Craig. He's been flying around everywhere, offense and defense, but that time just caught a little bit too much of the player.
Sometimes you do see that, a male matching player barreling down on a woman matching player and then making collision. We certainly don't want to see that. Craig did a great job earlier as well, pulling up from a bid. So you can see Craig has a lot of experience in the mixed game. Talked about how he played with Happy Campers as well out of Victoria. So certainly bringing that to this team here. Clack working against the mark of Moore. Resets to Sophia Clack. Now it's Curtis Clack. Not sure if that was intended for Chung, but Chan will bring the disc in. Kwok.
Great inside throw there to Chung.
And Chung has options. Now it's back to Clack. Clack is looking for his favorite target in Kwok. And this time it will work out. Kwok doing a lot of work. And now we're all tied up.
I mean, it's his favorite target, isn't it? Clack and Kwok. And that time I like that throw decision just a little bit better. Yes, it's a bit jump bally, but the defending player, the male matching player, was behind the play that time, so I had to play catch up, whereas previously it's been 3 defenders waiting for that disc to come down. So nice job. Again, marathon point for both of these teams. And, I mean, it's a bit of a backbreaker sometimes when you're the offensive team and you have chances to punch it in, but the break comes through. Tied game now, 6-all.
Yeah, as NSYNC raining down from the speakers, Dial-Up has said bye right now to the Rewind lead. So it's tied right now at 6s here in Brampton, Ontario. Very curious now to see what personnel you're going to draw up, Coach Tran. What are you going to do?
I mean, there was a big huddle after that point. Him getting everyone around, taking an extra second just to call the line out there. And the likes of Joltohina, Hawkins, McFadden out there.
But no Elias or Craig.
No Elias or Craig. And Hiles out there as well at the far side.
Hiles, one of the captains of this team, China. See how Rewind responds here, giving up the last 3 points. This has been a great back and forth game. We're happy that we chose this one to be on stream right now.
That's a great pull, right on the sideline. Hawkins with no defender, though, able to get it into a quick reset.
Good awareness, too, to come in because there was going to be some trouble there.
High
that
throw.
was taken away by Chung. Chung looking for the instant throw. He does just that, finding Wesley Choi, and it's a 4-point run from Dial-Up.
I mean, what a swing in momentum here. And from my point of view, it's just execution for Rewind. Their sets look good. Their spacing looks good. But there's a bit of error in the way that they're executing their throws and their catches. And that will be halftime here. 7-6 lead for Dial-Up.
And keep in mind, if you're keeping track at home, Dial-Up gets the ball in the second half.
That's right. Started on a D with that break, then went down 4-2, and now they're going to get a chance, an offensive point coming up after halftime. So with that, we'll head into a short break, and we'll be right back here again post-halftime for a great finish
the action. And Nate, we saw Rewind go up 3-1. They were up 5-2. But now we see Dial up 7-6. What changed?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a momentum game, isn't it? And we mentioned, Dial Up coming off that quick transition from their previous game. Maybe took them a few seconds to get into it, adjusted some things, tried to tighten up their throws a little bit. And honestly, Rewind a little bit lacking in the execution right now. So need to tighten the screws. This is a bit of a hybrid DO line right now for Rewind here. Again, coming out on defense. So we'll see what they have to offer.
A very power line-esque right now. Good grab there from Fan. Kwok drew 2 defenders, does still get the reset. Now back to Fan.
Really crowded there on the sideline, but able to squeak it out.
Clack thought he found Kwok, but observer Sandra Hansen ruling him out of bounds, and you cannot argue or try to show your case for an out-of-bounds call. They make active calls.
I thought originally the arm actually signaled inbounds, and then she flipped it over to the out-of-bounds. So eventually coming to the right call, so chance here for a Rewind to get the disc back.
Hawkins pops it up. Liang now. Chin. This is all the big, heavy hitters on one line right now. Zoltohina. Liang keeps his foot way in bounds. A very open board. Zoltohina's right there as well. And now it's Craig. Mark's taking a really long time to get to their checks right now. Craig going up the line for Zoltohina. And that's a break out of half for Rewind just as they drew it up.
Just like the start of the game, right? Break, but this time it's Rewind showing the break prowess here. Tying this game back up at 7s. So not quite on serve yet, because again, it'll be Dial Up going back out on offense, but it's a great, great start for Rewind, having to get back into this game after having an early lead.
And you see the benefits of having a coach. I know we've also haven't talked about it yet, but they have played multiple tournaments this season, Disc Flicker, regionals as well in BC, and certainly having that experience will help you, but also having a coach choosing to dial up the line the way they did, and they immediately provides great dividends, great fruit as they get the break.
And so now it's Dial Up's turn to right the ship here.
Elias and Craig remain on the field, same thing with Chin as well.
Zoltohina, just to note, that was her second goal of this game. Both teams have been spreading the love equally in terms of the goal distribution. 2 goals for Zoltohina leads her team, the sole lead. And on the other side, it's Kwok with the sole lead with 2 as well to his name.
Jang, we know he's got the big flick huck. Under instead to David Tran.
Another fun matchup here to watch with Sue and Jang. Great D there, run through, it's Kwok.
Saf Kwok making the play, immediately sprinting the end zone, no one picking up, so they're often slow to get everything going here. And Elias telling someone to go deep, looking for Kwok. Kwok trying to get the bookends. And on the other side, it's R.A. picking it up. Elias throwing the assist, that's 2 straight for Rewind.
And not exactly the intended receiver downfield, but it doesn't matter. Right place, right time. Great job following the play there. And Kwok, again, just want to note that run through D in that handler space.
For Rewind, some of their thoughts in terms of how they would describe their team. Competitive and supportive, bringing that positive culture. And certainly that's going to help you in moments when you're down, right? You're down in what is an elimination game at Nationals. You gave up 4 straight points to go into that break, and you bounce back with 2 of your own.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an ideal situation when you're in a rebuilding situation. You want to build a supportive environment. You want to encourage players to come back for your next season. And also, if you can be in a situation where you can be competitive and make a quarterfinals, I mean, that certainly helps as well.
12th last season, 13th the year before that. So they're trying to ascend the ranks here in the mixed division.
That's what you want to see year over year. Just, increasingly your placements going up and up. Break your seed if you can.
Parker and Clack, like it's been all morning. Gonna have to work against a rewind zone.
A call here on the mark, perhaps.
I think calling on Liang counting stalls when he was not within 10 feet. That's what Clack and Liang are talking about.
Yeah, and Clack is saying that Liang was sort of face guarding him while counting stalls on the disc that was behind him. Observer comes in. Stall count's going to come in at 1.
Sophia Clack now looking for Curtis Clack, but it's Liang's arms. And Clack not even trying to play defense right now as Liang finds Kwok.
And it's a big break. And I mean, we're seeing here that Rewind doing a great job of earning their Ds. Yes, the throw was over the top, and it looked a little bladey out of the hand, but still a touch by the defense. We saw the D on the previous point from Kwok, so really owning their D points. And we're seeing a timeout here. Quick timeout out of the half by Dial-Up, so we'll go to a quick break.
Fresh off the timeout, Dial-Up back out on offense. That's how they started the second half, and they've given up 3 consecutive breaks to this very strong rewind side from Vancouver, BC. Down by 1.5, and they've really showed their might, flex their muscles right now. Theo One, Nate Crane bringing you the action.
That's right, Theo. I feel like the big difference for Rewind here in the start of this half is at the end of that first half, when Dial-Up really started to claw their way back into it, it was execution. It was the missed throws, right? And we're not seeing that here at the start of this half, and I think that makes all the difference for them.
Chung Going up against the zone. We see them mostly run zone. They'll sometimes come out in person, but mostly coming out in a standard 3-3-1 with a trap on the sideline. You got very competent handlers there with Chung, Nye, and Jang. We've seen Jang throw a couple big flicks already. He has the ball now.
Yeah, and this is okay right now if you're rewind. Keeping him towards one sideline. And again, misses execution a little high on that scuba throw. And Nye, bit of a shorter target, so just off the top of his hand, so turnover again.
He's going to have to go against Craig, who's going deep. Little juke to the under, and we'll go into the deep space for the score. Elias, a big throw, second assist of the half. And now it's 10-7.
And the break train continues to roll here for Rewind out of the second half. And like I mentioned, that execution, it's flip-flopped, right? The execution lacking in the first half for Rewind, and now it's Dial-Up that's struggling a little bit.
What does Dial-Up need to do right now? It's 4 consecutive breaks now for a Rewind.
Honestly, I think they should be telling themselves that, you know, they are still in this game. Obviously, we saw in the first half, they clawed their way back and took the lead by 2. So very, very capable of coming back into this one, but they have to stop the bleeding. We saw that scoreline of 6-4 in the first half, and that's when they really started their run. And so right now, it's got to start here, as you can't let yourself go down into an even bigger hole of 4 points, inching this close to the finish line of the game. And this is for quarters, right? So in a way, this is a last breath trying to go farther into this tournament, even if it's just for one more round.
And the silent is a lot quieter for Dial-Up, Nate, and that's something we've remarked throughout this game. Rewind has won the battle on the field, but also the energy battle on the sideline.
It makes such a huge difference in a game of swings like this. As Clack, you never like to see that from a veteran, just misread the pull and bobbled it through his hands, so yeah, red zone chance.
That is not going to help the comeback cause right now. Defense really going to have to ratchet up here. Hawkins goes with the around, finds Peter Liang, and when it rains, it pours. A 5th straight break for Rewind.
It's such a tough pill to swallow if you're Clack. You know, he is one of the steadiest handlers on this team, leads the team in assists coming into this game, had 9 total. And so, uncharacteristic error from him. I mean, 99 times out of 100, he makes that.
And Dial-Up staying true to form, though, which I do like. They are rolling through their lines. That's the ethos that's defined them, and they're going to stick with it despite being down 4 points.
I would love to see them utilize Wu here a little bit more. She had such a great start to this game. Is one of the leading scorers on this team with 6 goals coming into this game. So I want to see her get involved a little bit here, especially in the deep space, use that speed.
Hawkins back out to pull here. E to the chin. It's a backhand force now. And it's thrown right in to Jen Chin's hands.
It's Chin again. I mean, reading the play so well.
She might be a librarian the way she's reading these plays. That's what you're telling me.
Absolutely. Chung thought about a bid.
Zoltahina instead, finding Kentz. Back to Hawkins, who just threw the helper earlier. Add one more to Hawkins' assist total. Finding Zoltahina.
I mean, we haven't talked enough about Hawkins in this game yet as another steady player in the backfield for this Rewind team. Plays a lot of points, defense and offense. And that time, it's the score over to Zoltahina.
Does Dial-Up call a timeout? What do they do right now?
I mean, you might want to think about it. They've used one this half already, but use it or lose it, right? And it's 12-7.
You can't take them home with you to Toronto.
You feel like, though, that just one big play from Dial-Up could give them a little bit of energy going forward. You see O-line back out onto the field.
Let's see how Clack and the rest of this pod responds here. They still do have some time. There is a soft cap +1 at this tournament. Then there's a hard cup 15 minutes after that.
Hey, you never want to feel like the soft cap, though. You have to run 5 points in a row to get the win, right?
Yeah,
so
you want to try to narrow it down now. Fan. Working against a person look here. Clock throwing this one out. Can Chung get there, but the presence of Mike to catch, making things difficult. Bigger body coming through.
Had his hand right on it, but you're right. Just that big frame of to catch coming into the play.
High stall. To catch is there. Now it's Cicely Wang. Over to McFadden. Some players that maybe didn't get some burn earlier, seeing some time on the field. That's the catch. Ditching the hat midpoint right now. And Clack coming off the back, not making contact. I like the safe play.
Yeah, great D. I mean, great body control from Clack there, just sneaking in for that D.
The pick is called. A lot of congestion at that midfield spot on the pitch. And it's going to result in a pick call.
Yeah, good play there. Good quick play there from these three players on this close side. Just quick throws. That's why I want to see more work faster. You know, they do like a long ball, but would really like to see them on those fast break chances just give goes.
Sophie Yang playing Club Ultimate, the payday this season, also going to Nationals. Is having some discussions right now, number 37 in white. And this discussion is not helping the dial-up comeback cause here, Nate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more time you waste on talking about the calls, the less time you have to actually play Ultimate and get another score, cut into the lead.
I mean, if you're rewind, you're not necessarily mad about this.
You're happy. I mean, you're on defense. You're catching your breath a little bit. You know, they're obviously not. You know, it's not intentional for them to take their time. It's clearly a discussion that needs to happen, as the observer is right there, and the observers will also move along the conversation if it starts taking too long. Right? Typically, you're supposed to resolve in 60 seconds or less. As we're back in play here now.
Yang. This throw could be too high because to catch was trying to come down with it, but it's McFadden providing some security on the other side. So second turnover for dial-up on this point. Elias now zipping it through. Finding Amy Lee. Lee now. Reset to Elias. And they're on to the move is Rewind. Great toes there from Borinaga. High reset. Elias there with two hands strong. So calm in the backfield. Needs some help. Little inside. And to catch is there. Clack cannot make the play.
I mean,
that sounds like a broken record right now. It's another break.
It's a same third inside flick from Elias for the score there. I mean, great touch on the disc. And, I mean, credit the mark on the other side of the disc, Chen there, forcing that sort of high, bladey around throw, but it's Elias able to come down with it and then eventually get the assist.
2 points away from a spot in the quarterfinal round, something they've never seen before, has Rewind.
And Elias, third assist of the contest. That's just 2 points shy of booking their ticket into the quarterfinals. And they would be playing a higher seeded opponent in the quarterfinals should they go through, as they're coming from a crossover matchup.
Now the top seeds of each pool, there's 4 pools in this division. They've been matching up as well. We can give you some score updates across the complex shortly.
A short pull here, so chance for a dial up here. Jang.
Jang is looking for Tran and add another assist to Jang's total. Make that 4 for number 91.
Yeah, like that quick offensive decision there. Again, short pull, so only about half the field left to work on, and they just go quick. They like initiating from the front of the stack and going deep.
Dinner at 4, up 13-10 on King Bear, so looks like they're going to wrap up the pool here in the first place crossovers. The big favorite in this tournament, Big Cat and the Kittens up on Cranky 14-8. And then FY Ultimate also holding an advantage over Flamon Rose 14-9. So looking like the 1 and 2 perhaps set for a big clash later on in the tournament. But lots still to happen. Golden Age, Royale with Cheese happening on the video only stream, so maybe you pull that one up as well, because that one is a close 11-10 scoreline right now.
Lots of good matchups here early to start your Saturday. Exactly what you love as a fan. But we won't talk too much about quarterfinal matchups just yet because, again,
we're not trying to jinx rewind or dial up.
Dial up with the score there to cut into the lead, as they've been thirsting for a goal for a number of points here.
Pool just settles on the turf past midfield. No clack on right now. It's a rotation where he sits off. Big throw unmarked. Clark cannot get there. Big grab from Michael Longo.
And it's rewind saying anything you can do, I can do better. Just opening it up down the middle of the field there. And it's a great, great put out in front. It's Lee Cowan there.
JLC.
JLC.
Put some respect on the name right now is what she's saying with a big backhand.
And
they're 1 point away from the top 8.
Game point for the crew from out west.
They have to travel pretty far. They're one of the furthest teams out at this tournament, so great to see a team from Vancouver making this a true nationals experience. We know there's teams from Newfoundland and Labrador as well. Grind Mothers on the women's division side. We got Dead Circus from Halifax, so I like the different representation here. Forever Young also from Vancouver. Rogue Hippo from Alberta. Golden Age Manitoba. We like it. We don't want this just to be Ontario.
We're across the board. We're across the board here. So love to see teams able to get out.
That's a soft cap horn, and we're playing to 15 regardless, the scoreline the way it is.
Yep, soft cap, if you're unfamiliar, you add 1 point to the top score. And top score is 14, so like Theo said, we're playing to 15, which is the regular score cap anyways. So some work here to do for dial up, but they all will have the offense.
They'll have 15 minutes to get there before the hard cap, so can they do it is the question. Right now, they just got to think about this offensive point. Chan, middle of the field.
Right.
It's good movement to start here for dial up.
And I was streaking there, hoping for a look downfield, but does have quite a tall defender, her catch on him. To catch, rather.
To catch, caught the last break score for Rewind. That was their 13th marker of the game.
And we have a pick call here, and it's Nye and Elias just talking it out.
Chung up the line for Chan. Chan continues it to the open side to Kerniawan. Second goal for number 5 as well. So Dial Up trying to hang around here.
Yeah, solid hold there from Dial Up. Clean hold, as we say, no drops, no throwaways. The issue, though, for Dial Up has been converting D-line chances into scores here in the second half.
Players all huddling by Coach Tran. I wonder if they're calling a timeout or if they're just maybe going all together. We see Craig trying to make his way to the line, but
And we're going to see some similar folks to the previous point to catch. Luongo. It's like Angeles out there is Europe. Borinaga. Liang. And Kwok to round it out.
Clark remains off the field for Dial-Up. It's going to be Carson Clark to pull. Clark usually resuming a lot of the pulling duties for this Toronto side.
Yeah, and I do like Clark's defensive ability, so we'll see if they can get it done here without him on the field.
To catch with the catch of the pull over to Borinaga.
Bit of slip from McFadden there, so that sort of ruins the set play.
Great grab, you got it under pressure. That was Angeles. That was Luongo.
Yeah, no reason to rush here if you're Rewind. Just take your time. Measured, calm play.
To Cash looking into the end zone. McFadden on the other side brings it in. And for the first time in program history, Vancouver Rewind has made the quarterfinal round at Nationals.
I mean, and deserved, wasn't it? I mean, a bit of a falter in the later stages of that first half, dropping a few breaks in a row and losing the lead, but it was all Vancouver here in the second half in dark.
McFadden scooping up that one, and Vancouver Rewind, they're celebrating because they've done something they've never done before. The jubilation on one side and great effort on the other. What a battle here, and it was Dial-Up at half 7-6, Nate.
Absolutely. I mean, Dial-Up, we talked to them before the game. This is more of a pickup team just trying to get together, and what a great showing from them here in this sort of pre-quarter matchup. And, I mean, definitely can hold their heads up high for their work here. So far, they got more games to play, of course, but their route towards the championship is over.
Rewind going to get a bye, and then they'll get ready for a quarterfinal matchup. Next as well. Score still happening around the complex, so we can't update you on exactly what the quarterfinal will be, and I stand corrected. It's going to be an all-Vancouver battle. Forever Young taking on Rewind. Okay, two teams that know each other.
Yeah, I mean, these are parent clubs, basically, or formerly were. Now, again, we've talked to them. They're starting to, go their own lanes a little bit more. But again, these are two clubs that have seen a lot of each other, whether it be at practice, at tryouts, or in competition. So that should be a good little, inter-province matchup.
Inter-province, inter-city. It's an all-Vancouver battle, so we know the West Coasters are certainly going to enjoy that. We did this yesterday, Nate. Nate joining us here today and the rest of this weekend. Player of the game for Rewind. You got to pick one player only. I know it's going to be tough, but.
That is really tough. I think I think McFadden had a lot of great plays. I think Chin had a lot of impact on both sides of the disc. You know, Elias, of course. You know, I think I want to give it to Chin. You know, Chin on both sides, some Ds, some scores herself. Just always in the right place at the right time.
For the dial-up side, are you going to pick one or you want me to pick?
You pick. I think I have a name in my brain. I'm interested to know if you match.
It's going to be the handling prowess of Wallace Jang. 4 assists. He really helped cultivate that offense, kept them moving. So I'm going with Wallace Jang here. Any final thoughts, Nate, before we sign off?
I mean, I'm really interested to see what Rewind can do in their quarterfinal matchup. I mean, against their Vancouver partners. And, yeah, I think they have a lot of talent. If they can just get consistent enough with their execution where they can stay in a game and not drop some points, it might be difficult to claw back into the games the later you are in a tournament. So intrigued by them going forward here in the quarterfinal matchup.
All right, that will be all for us. We thank camera operators Nathan, Jared, Cat 410 on the DJ. Makush is producing right now. For Nate Crane, I'm Theo Wan. We'll see you on the next stream.